Hello and welcome to International Affairs, broadcasting live from the SATV's Gulshan studio. My name is Shamsul Alam Pantho as I bring you the headlines and the coverage of the events taking place in the Middle East. We know multiple nations are now being targeted, as we've seen over the weekend, by various sides. Of course, we know that the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is no more, and a fatwa was released late last afternoon, which had said blood for blood. This is coming in as the Iranian administration is now being led by Ali Reza, who is of course a senior clergy for the country. I want to introduce all my panelists before I begin with all the events. In the studio we have senior economist Ali Ahmed in the studio, of course member customs of the National Board of Revenue. I welcome him back to the program. We also will have our geopolitical correspondent from Washington, D.C., Norman Floyd Barnes, alongside from Islamabad, Pakistan, Mohammad Musab. They shall be joining us on the program momentarily. I want to begin in the studio with Mr. Ali Ahmed. We know several of the issues that are coming out. Very recently, we have seen Kuwait being the center of attraction and attention. An F-15 crash has happened of the U.S. forces in Kuwait. As we are garnering some news regarding this attack, I want to ask this question to Ali Ahmed. We've seen a very volatile situation happening in the Middle East. There was a speculation in which it was being said that the U.S. side would be in talks with Iran. However, the Iranian side, according to Ali Larijani, has said that they are going to not going to negotiate until their pride is being restored. They are going to retaliate blood for blood. These are the words that was used yesterday in their fatwa. I want to know more from Ali Ahmed.
In fact, this is not the point for Iran to go for negotiation. You kill the topmost leader of the country and say we can discuss now. That is something dishonorable, and they have rightly rejected it. But Donald Trump said that he is going to end this war in 4 weeks' time.
Right.
That is also most unlikely. There would not be maybe not very serious ones, but war or small battles will keep on going, especially the naval battle, the aerial battles. USA now seems they have understood that coming with the boots on the ground might be very suicidal for them. So they desisted from it, and only air power is the thing. But then it is already all the analysts I have listened to through a few radio TV stations are one in their opinion that regime change or occupation and replacement of the current regime in any country, it has never been possible through aerial bombardment or anything. So that is a pipe dream. It's not coming. Maybe there will be more deaths, but then Iranians are also now very adamant. They will also keep on fighting to see how far they can go and how far Israel can go. America of course comes, but actually Israel is the person, and America has also come basically for Israel. And there is a background. When the great imperialist power of the 19th and 20th centuries, especially 19th and 20th, Britain saw that it is coming to an end, especially after the Second World War. They thought that some replacement has to be kept, especially in the Middle East areas. It's the center of the world in many respects. Oil was being discovered, motor cars were discovered a few years before, so they would be needing petroleum. So they wanted to have their country, and white Europeans and Americans was not willing to come to some countries. So they brought this case of the Jews. Balfour, who was also though Christian, but he is more Jewish than Christian. And they declared that there would be a homeland for the Jews. That was the beginning, and when Britain became still weaker, now USA has taken it over. So imperialists must have a great outpost in the Middle East to fight the other countries. That is why this is happening.
Of course, a very important update from Ali Ahmed in the studio. I understand this is a very trying time for the Middle East, as thousands of travelers, thousands of people who are not involved in this kind of escalation are trapped in various countries from Saudi Arabia to Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman and Qatar. We understand that the UAE, Dubai and Qatar's Doha are international airports that have been affected in this heated exchange between several nations. We have Norman Floyd Barnes from the United States of America, Washington, District of Columbia. I want to ask him, what is the build-up you're seeing? Donald Trump has mentioned it will take 4 weeks or less to handle this issue in Iran. 60 days, 62 days of the year goes by and this escalation takes place. Multiple assets in the region in the Middle East have been affected on both the Israel and the US side, as well as Iran's naval ports as well. Many of these naval vessels have been attacked courtesy of the United States military. I want to know more from Norman Floyd Barnes. What is the reaction inside America and how are you seeing this issue? What is the situation? Norman Floyd Barnes.
Greetings. Greetings from Washington. It's 3 a.m. in the morning here on Monday. So Washington has not really started to get things going. Uh, we're waiting to see exactly what's going on. There's a lot of activity going on in the globe. Um, Israel and Lebanon is now back again fighting. Hezbollah is fighting. 31 people have been killed. So apparently the Israeli campaign is now expanded towards to the north. Uh, Kuwait, uh, the UAE, other parts are now being a response. They're seeing response from Iran. Iran has up its game regarding the response, and people are now seeing exactly what's happening. The Strait of Hormuz has been actually closed. It's closed for traffic, ships. It's not because of military. The U.S. military has claimed that they have basically decimated the naval capabilities
Right.
of Iran. But the insurance companies basically is forbidding and are not going to insure the tankers to move oil. So right now we have a big problem with the 20% of the world oil going through their area is basically been closed, it's been ceased. We got notice from the UK that Cyprus has been the military base there have been attacked, hit by drones from Iran. So this is
Of course.
regional. This regional conflict is now turning into a regional war. It's
Correct.
affecting all parts of the Middle East, and the economic situation is being affected. The UAE is starting to experience the impact of these attacks. Yesterday, last 2 days, there was more um, ballistic attacks to Israel, I mean to the UAE, than it was to Israel. There was over almost 400 attacks with drones and whatever, and attacks are continuing to occur. So we are now in a big situation in the Middle East. The Gulf states are now in a position where they have to do something because they're being attacked by Iran, supported by China. Russia is not happy with the situation with the United States. So Russia, China are acting as proxies to the situation with Iran, and other countries are going to be involved in this whole situation. So we have the makings of a total, not a world war, but a regional war in this Middle East region. It's going to have effect on every country there and the entire economic situation of the world. Right now, we're looking at the prices that go up in the morning. The price of oil is going to go up to $82 a gallon. It's going to affect the consumers here in the United States. Uh, the reputation of places like tax havens like Dubai has now been tarnished with the notion that Iran has stated this morning that they have targeted locations in Dubai and the UAE, particularly the CIA. They call it the CIA intelligence hub. They basically had strikes on that.
Right.
Other areas there to inflict pain and suffering on the investors the billionaires, the millionaires, the trillionaires, that they are not safe in that area. So this is going to have a large economic effect on the UAE,
Right.
stating yes, they're responding, but the problem is they can't protect what's going on, and investors do not like unsafe areas. So right now, the economic impact of this thing is starting to come through, and we haven't even started with the cyber attacks yet. This is just a physical response and letting the people know that Iran letting them know that we are responding. Protests. Here we go. We're going to talk about Pakistan. People have been killed in
Of
Pakistan.
course.
There's set up protests scheduled to be going on here in the United States. There's in Europe. There's going to be protests. So this is as I mentioned before, a big hot mess. This thing has basically grown out of a surgical attack, killing the Ayatollah and some facilities, to now to a regional
Of course.
war that is going to affect everybody in the world. It's going to affect everybody in the world. So basically, hold on, because this is more to come. And we haven't even started here in the United States. Our Congress haven't even talked to the president about this. So this is a big issue. And like I mentioned yesterday, the homeland here in the United States is having issues because we do not have enough personnel to protect the homeland in terms of immigration and what's going on. So it's a lot of business going on, a lot of news going on at the same time. We have a response from Iran, the regional players, and now the situation has now moved. Israel has now started the aggression again with Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Right, right. Important updates coming from Norman Flood Barnes. I want to connect Mohammed Musab from Islamabad, Pakistan. We understand that the rage of 200 million Shia population is being felt across the entire globe, not only in Pakistan. We've seen some retaliation coming out, some deaths happening because of protesters storming the US consulate in Karachi. And not only that, yesterday you were telling me about a fatwa, and issuing of that fatwa would mean dangerous implications for the coming days. I want to understand, how are you feeling? What is the situation from Pakistan, as we understand that multiple news sources are confirming Israeli IDF is attacking Lebanon in an attempt to silence Hezbollah, the proxy that works for Iran. I want to get your comments. Mohammed Musab from Islamabad, Pakistan.
Thank you for allowing me to express what is happening in Pakistan on this show. So, Pakistan currently hosts the second largest Shiite population in the whole world. Approximately, unconfirmed figures would suggest that around 18 to 22% of Pakistan's total population is Shiite. Now, these are in pockets. The biggest pocket being Karachi. Yesterday, we saw a large number of protesters entering the US consulate for purposes of protest. They were shot at by US Marine forces deployed inside the US consulate. Now, that sparked rage and anger. People came out on the streets in the Gilgit-Baltistan area where there's no US High Commission or embassy. So they stormed the nearest building, which had a UN observer group sitting over there. Then they came out in Lahore, which hosts another consulate, and then they came out in Islamabad, which hosts Islamabad, by the way, hosts the biggest UN mission in the entire world. So, around 35 people have lost their lives so far in Pakistan, and people are expecting this to spiral out of control because the rage and fury displayed yesterday after losing more lives. I think we've added fuel to the fire. Having said that, we were talking about religious implications of taking out the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Right.
Now, let's also talk about the economic situation right
Of
now.
course, the
So,
Strait of
gold has
Hormuz
gone
has been
up.
closed and it is remaining closed.
Yeah,
How are you seeing it?
yeah. So, gold has gone up across the globe.
Right.
Oil prices have gone up. Russian stocks of oil markets have gone up. Who exactly is going to benefit? Let's also not forget news that is now publicly available from Oman. People who were inside who were inside as mediators on the negotiation table. They've come on record. Now, this is public knowledge. It's available online on platforms such as X, Facebook. It's being printed worldwide. These people are saying that an agreement was reached. Iran had agreed to every single demand of the United States of America. Who started this war? This is a question that is being asked. And what is the end objective? Was the end objective taking out Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, or was the end objective bringing the world to a point where there's economic meltdown as we're seeing now because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? The war was supposed to last a couple of days because the primary objective that was discussed by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, was that he wanted to take out the Iranian supreme leader. Now he's been taken out. Where does this war end? Iran, on the other hand, as our senior colleague and friend Norman Barnes just mentioned, Iran's end game seems to be very simple. They want to bring in everybody from the whole world into this war. They believe that we're dead. They believe that we cannot win this war. They do not have a big enough navy. What are they doing? They're attacking every single Gulf country and they're bringing everybody along. So Dubai comes down, the UAE market crashes. Everybody in England wants their people to come back from UAE.
Correct.
If you can please show the numbers of the people who've asked the British government to be evacuated from the UAE alone. Now that's a huge number. So what has happened is the UAE, the Gulf countries, the Middle East entirely has become unsafe.
Of course.
The world has invested billions and trillions of dollars in the Middle East. So who's winning this war? What is the end game? Where does Donald Trump and Israel see this going to? What objectives do they want to achieve out of all of this? So these are all questions
these are
that
of course
yet unanswered.
of course, very important questions coming from Mohammad Musab, hailing from Islamabad, Pakistan.
The new war.
Of course, Norman was also claiming the comment, it is a new war. And of course, the word that he has been using ever since the start of this year, a hot mess. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a very short break as we will be continuing the debate after a short commercial break. Do stay with us. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks,
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
with President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks,
Welcome back on International Affairs here from the SATV's Gulshan studio. I want to get on with the debate and discussion, but in the studio we have Ali Ahmed. I want to ask you, sir, the economic distraught that is being brought upon this hot retaliation in the region. Mohammed Musab was talking about how the gold price has gone up as well as the oil prices are skyrocketing. Insurance companies are losing their grip on how much money is to be a loss in this entire project. The military infrastructure that have been destroyed, the missiles and the missile debris that has been falling, it indicates a very huge economic problem that is going to arise in the coming days. What is your observation?
Well, observation is not very difficult to make here. In any war, two things are the greatest victim. One is the truth, the other is price level. Truth, because people tell a lot of lies, and price level for reasonable causes, it goes up. Donald Trump very relaxed way, in a very relaxed way, declared that it will be about 4 weeks that the war will take. But he did not know that he could only begin, but it's not going to end so soon. It's going to continue. It is in fact a continuation of the war they started in the Middle East, and it will continue for many years, sometimes ferociously, sometimes very slowly. It doesn't end very soon. So the impact on price level, impact on industrialization, trade, business, everything in the whole world is going to be very adverse, and Bangladesh is also going to suffer. The whole world is going to suffer. That is the unfortunate reality of a war.
Of course, 81 years since the last World War, we are in the 81st year, and we are seeing that a huge war-like situation is breaking out. I want to also mention that ever since Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's death, there has been an interim leader who has been appointed in this situation. He is known as Ayatollah Ali Reza Aravi. He is, of course, an Iranian cleric politician who served as the member of the Guardian Council since 2019. I want to come to Norman Floyd Barnes in District of Columbia. The Iranians have designated an interim leader, and of course, the son of Ali Khamenei, Mojtaba Khamenei, is still alive and is being seen as the next successor for the Iranian regime. However, there was a narrative of the old Reza Pahlavi's son to be brought back in as after the regime change, if it were to be happening. But I don't see any kind of traction regarding this, as in Iran, when you remove one leader, another leader shall take place. What is your observation? And for a fact, I know that the tourism industry has been on hold ever since the first rocket was thrown. How are you seeing this?
Yes, I know we have a short period of time, but this is a very serious situation. The situation with Iran, they have a system where they have 4 layers, everything they do. So there's always a process in place to always prepare for secession. So the leadership it have a continuity that goes on with that. So we are now looking at a very long, drawn out period of conflict going on. It's going to have a tremendous effect on the economic and trade situation of the world. As you know, that is what moves the world. The Iranians are very, I won't say smart, but they're very intelligent, and they know certain things push buttons. They are not wanting to, even though they have a 1 million-man military army, the war is not with the military. The war is with trade, economics, and the mindset of people in people's minds. So right now it appears that the countries that in the Middle East that has been profitable from this flurry of money and resources are now being threatened. Their strongest thing is that we make you feel unsafe. By making you feel unsafe, your investors, your tourism, your housing, all of the stuff that you enjoy from the wealth you have is now going away. Investors are not going to, like insurance companies, they're not going to commit to an area that they feel that is unsafe. You can't protect them. There's conflict going on, and there's death. There's not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to put their money in investments. So you're going to see a mass exodus, which is in turn more powerful than a military response to that. Basically, the economic security that they enjoy, the economic freedom is not there, and they're going to move. They're going to bring their resources out. Like I said, Russia, the UK is bringing their people back home. The United
Right.
States is put out alert. They want everybody to basically stay at home, avoid this region area, and don't spend your money because if you go over there, we're not sure that you can get back. And the situation, that's exactly what Iran wants to get into the minds of the people that
Right.
we are going to fight you in a different way. We're going to fight you in a way. We're gonna get with your psychology, and we're going to basically say, hey, don't go to the region. Don't involve these things. Avoid the United States because basically you're not safe there. You're not wanted there. First thing, and you're not safe there. And so do other things that is more conducive to your homeland versus supporting this ideology.
Right.
So we have a problem right now. Right now, we're looking at lifestyles.
Of
The
course.
lifestyles of the rich, and I call the rich and the famous, are now being contested because now you're not safe. We're going to make sure, Iranian, we're going to make sure that you feel unsafe. So you're
Right.
not going to invest in these countries, and economies are going to suffer from this.
Of course.
Generational is going to suffer from this. This is very impactful. This is more important than a bomb, a soldier, or military action. We're now talking about trust.
Right.
That's the issue.
Of course, global trust is at an all-time low, and I want to thank Norman Floyd Burns. An excellent observation. I want to move to Mohammed Musab. We're very short on time today. I want to ask you the very topic I spoke with Norman. How is the tourism industry going to be affected? We know world is at war, and China is playing the cards very carefully because as the US is busy in the Middle East, one can always remember Chinese claims, the mainland claims over Taiwan, but focusing back on tourism, trade, industry, and how it is going to go on. Your closing statement from Mohammed Musab.
So first of all, we need to realize that most airlines operate through the Middle East. So airspace is being closed all over the Middle East, and we know for sure now that this is not going to last for a couple of days. This might be weeks. Israel, that was only attacking in the US, who was only attacking Iran for the first 2 days, now also has to attack Lebanon for Hezbollah.
Right.
So this Iran and allied forces are now stretching the United States of America, and they're stretching Israel at this point in time. One more actor gets involved and the war turns into something extremely big. Having said that, the Strait of Hormuz being closed, airspace being closed, the biggest oil refinery in Saudi Arabia being just attacked an hour before
Yes.
Right.
1 hour before we're talking right now. Russian oil prices going up. Everything seems to be a mess. So if the US now wants to enter Cuba, or China now wants to enter Taiwan, or Russia now wants to attack Ukraine on a mass scale, imagine a scenario where the whole world will get involved.
And
And do not even leave it to your imagination. In the coming few weeks, you might see it happening.
of course,
Reaction time. People reacting.
this is a matter of time, as I believe both Norman and Musab are both confirming the matter. I want to thank this excellent panel today here in the studio with Ali Ahmed for his beautiful contributions, valuable time, as well as contributions from Norman Floyd Burns in DC, as well as Mohammed Musab from Islamabad. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end the program on a very powerful note. In this day in 1965, Operation Rolling Thunder had begun, and it was marking the major escalation in the Vietnam War, which was, of course, US was involved. I want to thank all of our viewers as well. Do stay tuned and remember to judge all the information that you see, because this is the perfect time for misinformation to be spread worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching International Affairs.